and picked apart things that you don't need, okay? I think the hard part for us is that I don't believe, I'm not gonna speak for it, but I don't believe anybody's comfortable right now pulling new money out of the general fund. So I think that the best goal for us should try to say, let's find something, even if it's a temporary, we may have to do a couple transfers throughout the year, a transfer now out of a line item that you already have to get you going for something now, but we may have to do some later transfers down the road. I don't know, I know you have $393,825 in your commissary fund. I understand that you have other things that come out of that. Is that something that you could pull 20,000 from each line now? In the future, we can look at making different transfers, and then hopefully in this 2026 new budget cycle, we can try and amend these discrepancies in your budget.
But that's not what the commissary is for, is to fund a general fund item. It's to supplement the general fund. And that now you're wanting me to take commissary monies and to pay bills that are coming in as part of the day-to-day operations of the sheriff's department.
I can just tell you that right now there is money available there, and we can work on that later. Right now there's no money in the general fund that we have left to allocate or to appropriate.
Is that a different interpretation? Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
So we could revisit this next month. Is there a minimum or an amount that you need? Because I don't think you're prepared to look at 10 light items to do. You haven't done that in advance. And I like the idea that if we can reimburse the money spent out of the general fund for VEST, we can do that out of capital improvements. That would greatly help us and look for creative ways. And thank you, Councilwoman Grabowski. I don't know how much you need to get by, because it's 80,000 a year. Is it?
Well, I don't know what that magic number is. I was gonna say 5,000 on each line or something to get us to a month or something. We'd have a better idea to where when the bill comes in, we can pay it.
Yeah, you're halfway through the year and you'll have an idea. And you can have Kim go through and maybe identify some transfers you're not going to need going forward. Usually
we'll take
those
our
pay
look at
items.
that.
I think
Offset some of it. I think that's palatable, and see where we're at.
I agree.
I think we do. We're clearly going to need to be creative here. I think what our auditor showed us in the beginning is we have revenue and we have an expense, and you're asking us to spend more than we have the revenue for. So we don't have the revenue for those things unless they come from somewhere else.
I'm just worried about the sheriff's department.
Of course,
Yeah,
that is
so
your
that's
your responsibility. We wouldn't ask you to be responsible.
so
for any
yeah.
other
So
department.
all the departments contribute to that revenue issue or expenditure issue, not just the sheriff's department. So,
but again, part of the issue is there's a budget,
Like the
and we have
auditor's
to.
office?
Those budgeted dollars are
For the
there
commissioners.
because that's the revenue that we have.
right.
And so, if we give $80,000 more here, then we have to ask which department are we going to pull $80,000 from? And so I think those are that's what we signed up for. I mean, that's our responsibility. But we are also wanting to be responsible with the use of the dollars. And I think it is a false dichotomy to think that you either can spend as much money as you feel like you need to spend, or we don't support law enforcement. That's not an appropriate, fair, or reasonable statement. The fact of the matter is, I think all of us have a great deal of respect and support you. We may come to disagree about how the utilization of resources, but I think what Councilor Culp said is right, and that is that there isn't, and speaking to Councilor Keller's comment earlier, none of us are going to suggest that you don't take your canine to the vet when they need it, or have bulletproof vests for your officers. I think we just have to figure out how to manage the resources. And I think the other comment I would make on Councilor Culp's comments is we need an accounting of the commissary. And I'd like to see an accounting of that fund. It did concern me that that's not a fund that is audited.
Because it's not general fund money, it's not public money.
Well, but it's money that comes to the sheriff's department. And there's no accounting mechanism for it.
Well, yeah, we get audited by the State Board of Accounts.
We're the fiscal body. If it's a supplemental fund, we should be aware of what's happening with that fund. It may not be ours to choose how to spend it.
Right.
But it seems like we're responsible for the utilization of being aware of how those.
Well, there's various departments that have those perpetual funds and other funds across the county that have special funds.
Todd, can you explain, this is a little different than a supplemental or
Real quick, I do just want to say that I was talking